is like a wave of like, you know that one scene from Thor Ragnarok where he's in the chair, all that, like that's what it felt like in my mind of everything. These visuals happening.
Beep. Beep.
I think the best way to like survive then thrive in LA is like live well below your means. And
most of my shit's getting downgraded as soon as I move there.
Well below your means, and then I think that's it.
Struggle bus. You're gonna take a ride in the struggle bus no matter what.
Yeah, especially if you're pursuing the entertainment industry. I don't know if you're going in. Q, what part of the entertainment industry are you trying to go into? Film editing?
Are you production or talent?
Yeah, production, post-production. Are you going to be lighting?
Costume, hair, makeup?
Yeah, so with that part of the hustle, it's just a given. You're going to have to live below your means. There's just a whole process getting into it. So
yeah, filming and directing. Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's even going to be harder if you're going into filming and directing, because I mean, obviously a lot of people are trying to produce their own stuff. I would say, I don't know if you're in school, or if you're out of school already, and just waiting to make the move. And I don't know if you're doing this already, but start directing and filming your own stuff as much as possible, because the only way you're going to get looked at, especially in the realm of the online world or whatnot, start filming and creating your own short films. And I'm pretty sure you're doing it.
Would it be good to like have like a network of like creatives that could help you out, like with you? Like you have technically like a network of like creative people. Like you have Joey as your DP. You have Noel, but it's your company too. But like they're also your friends.
That's the benefit of being in school, because you have that network already.
That's true.
You can have someone to be the
be nice.
So that's essentially
be nice.
Your school's already your networking opportunity, but also like filming and directing. It's one of those things. I forgot who it was. Fuck, who was it? Was it Edgar Wright or Wes Anderson? Like, either way,
two different styles, but
but either way, before they even got into school, they were already trying to direct and film. So if you want to do the filming and the directing, do the filming and directing, produce a body of work. Doesn't matter if it's like blockbuster, but if whatever concept, if you look at these, like King Batch, man, he was in Vine and then on all that whatnot. He was trying to go with comedy. Now he's an actor. Just start producing stuff that's relevant to the industry you're trying to get in. So film whatever shorts it is, scary, drama, comedy, try to have a little bit of range. That way you can also put that together in your reel. Even if it's not for a grade, what do you call it? You'll have a body of work, because people are going to want to see demo reels. People are going to want to see range. And it also depends, like if you're trying to focus on a particular niche. If it's horror, what are the different ways you can film horror? Or the different ways,
music videos or
music videos.
Yeah.
Like how would you do a pop artist, a rap artist, to a rock artist, and putting together treatments, all these plans. Just like do the thing.
You're essentially coaching like members of Temper Tantrum that want to pitch, kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing with my dance company. I'm teaching them how to get ready to what Max just said, but don't wait to come to LA or any other place to start doing it now. I
don't know where you are, but do it now.
Yeah, just have it ready. Even though, you might feel embarrassed about it, at least it's done. At least you created something. And
you never know until you put it out.
Yeah, because there's people that are just that'll be like, oh, I'm an aspiring director. What have you directed? You haven't done anything?
Aspiring doesn't mean you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Like the term aspiring director or aspiring anything, like if I say I'm an aspiring dancer, if I still dance, that means I just haven't broken into the industry yet.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Like,
but I'm still dancing.
But
let's pretend I am.
Be an aspiring director that has a body of work and who's
with a resume.
Who's putting in the reps. You don't necessarily have to wait for your big break from a production company to start directing. Start creating something with your friends and family or whoever is down within your network, and start trying to make. Because who knows that, what do you call it? I mean, who is it? The Russo Brothers, the directors of Infinity War and Endgame. They directed.
They also helmed Community.
They directed Community. You know, and this is just an example. Like this is a very.
They went
different,
from the small screen to the MCU.
It's a sitcom, like essentially, like that Community. I don't know if you've seen it, but the way they directed it, that, and then the people in Marvel, they saw how they were well with action scenes and ensemble, which is
because they did everything in Community the first 2 seasons,
and then which is what led them to directing Winter Soldier, I think.
Winter Soldier first,
and then Infinity War and Endgame. So it's what was that question? So have evidence for what I can do, so I can do. Yes, exactly. So you can because then it'll be like, oh, if you even going to the example of like different genres, like horror, comedy, sitcom, whatever it is, if people are able to see that, and they might be able to see like, oh, I like how you handled these certain aspects in this horror genre. I want you to translate that for our script. Yeah. Or same thing with a sitcom. Like there might be a way you direct, a way you film that is something that someone's looking for, but people aren't gonna see that if you don't have anything to show for it. Like
a good example for that, like in just in pop culture, like in Community, Abed, he started, like being a student of film, like in community college. It wasn't really film school, but he was a film major of sorts. But he was directing all these things already as a student in a community college. Mm-hmm. Like he was just doing all these things. So there's a lot of like Abed films already before, like he would eventually become a famous director in the future. Yeah. Body of work. The work started shitty, and then it, eventually work got better. And it showed it throughout the series too. The work started getting better. Like he was getting better at editing. He was getting better at doing this. Like obviously he was doing the whole thing himself. And then now he's like filming documentaries with a team now. Yeah. So like embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. Oh, you've said this a lot. Yeah, because what do you call it? It's like the equivalent of like someone going to the gym for the first time. Like it's gonna be terrible. Like you're probably not gonna do that many reps or whatever. I don't know. But the more you keep at it, the stronger you get. And it's the same thing. Being a director and a filmmaker is a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get, because now you're anything creative, really. Yeah, because now you're developing your eye. You're developing your own sense of taste, which is what's going to help stand you out. Because I feel like, especially for me, when I first started trying to direct, or even going to that example of dance choreograph, I would try to imitate some of my favorites, which is good because you like them for a reason. You like, for example, you like how Spielberg directed something, or you like how Lucas or whoever directed Kubrick something. Or whatever. Or oh my God, so good. Wes Anderson, how they directed something, and you want to try to take that into your own. Like, and you're using this buffet of knowledge, and you're kind of in the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, they did this, they did this, they did this, and eventually it becomes an amalgam of you because through all that of experimentation and play, you become like, you find your own style. Yeah. Like, your first film could be like a sad attempt of like, oh, this looks exactly, you were trying to do an Edgar Wright style cut or whatever, or like, or, the Wes Anderson framing, like, and very, like, very and all that. Symmetrical, kind of pastel colors if you can help it. But like, you're trying to do that like for like this shot, and you can really sound like Anderson, Wright, Kubrick, but like like as you keep going, you develop your own. So you're like, oh, that's Q. Mm-hmm. Like now you have your own style. Like, but that'll take fucking years, man. How do you think that? Like, how do you think they got there? I mean, how do you think those old fogies got there? I think inspiration is a great place for your foundation. I think it's obviously like there's a technical aspects in filmmaking. The right lens, the right lighting, all that, the very, very technical sense. But in terms of style, I think it's a great, and using your inspiration, your idols, so to speak, can be a good place, because especially, for example, if using a bunch of inspiration to create a good foundation. Yes. Yeah. So if you want to, this is an exercise I think I did when I was writing notes, but I would do something like the same thing just so I can understand the thought process of it. Like, say, for example, like Spielberg does his famous L shot, like he's just here, and then like the character's running here, like running, and then he runs to the screen. It's like he's
boom, and then boom. And then I started using that for myself. It's like, okay, in theory, I get it. Now let's put it into practice. I would do it for when I'm just vlogging. I'm just following someone. And then as they're coming in closer, I would do it. And I was like, oh, I realize the power of this. Now I understand how
It conveys this, it conveys that.
As a tool.
Yeah. Like
So-
everybody knows and everybody loves a good Dutch angle, but like you gotta apply it properly.
Yeah, because
You can't just Dutch angle everything. And
there's been certain things like we've seen. This is like, why is there a Dutch here? Like it's supposed it's
the Dutch angle is supposed to convey like some sort of
like-
confusion or like shock
yeah.
to the sense like this is weird.
Yeah.
Like
So,
why is this Dutched?
Yeah.
And I'm not even a film student. I just know it because I'm just like I love a good Dutch angle. What
But
was
a
it?
Dutch oven.
I use a Dutch oven to make. I use a Dutch oven to make sourdough bread.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah, bitch. It's a big cast iron pot.
Oh,
Dutch oven.
okay. Yeah, but
I mean, it that's what it does. Like it keeps the air in the gas and not the gas, like the air, I guess, and like the heat in and surrounding it. So that's essentially a Dutch oven because you're farting into a blanket, then you're trapping in it.
yeah, it was
I did not
Fair.
want to be a sourdough bread. What was I gonna say? Who was
like a
it?
good Dutch angle.
I love the Dutch angle, but like also like I've seen people attempt the Aaron Sorkin walk and talk shots. West Wing.
Yeah, so definitely like your inspiration of like who you would like to imitate. Try to do that a little bit. Obviously, like
I'm
people
not gonna
are
tell you
talk-
who. Just find yours.
Yeah, like people are gonna say like, oh, you're doing like, oh, you're trying to be like XYZ, and like that can almost be like a compliment because it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm trying to be a student of him, and I don't have exact direct access under him, but I might as well try to imitate this to get an idea of these shots. Or
If
even
somebody said to me that like if I filmed someone like walking and talking at the same time, and it looked good, and they were like, Sorkin, I'd be like, thank you.
like my first my film with Temper Tantrum, like the first one was Shake It Out. It was Wes Anderson inspired.
Mhm.
Like at least the establishing shots was
Yeah.
like very like symmetrical, kind of pastel
color grading.
The color grading was very
Like slightly desaturated, color
but
grading,
also exaggerated.
but also vibrant. It's like you took the saturation wheel down and the vibrance up.
Yeah,
That's what
because
That's how I edit pictures.
so because I wanted to, because I've never really done something like that, so I really wanted to experiment with that style.
Mhm.
So and then I'm not gonna lie, that show is fucking hard because I feel
Yeah.
like I was overthinking every part of the process in the grading and the shots. But eventually, you get to a point where you feel satisfied. But there's
Mm.
always gonna be a nagging feeling that you could do it a little better. But
Yeah.
if you continue to listen to that, you're never gonna finish. But yeah, I felt pretty good with that one. I think one thing that has definitely helped me out in a lot of the filming is pre-production.
Yeah.
That's helped me so much. Like I storyboard the shit out of everything. I do as many test shots as I
Well,
can.
you're extra as hell, and you like go into Maya and try to animate these.
So yeah, well,
shots.
yeah, because previs. So I try
Previs,
to
yeah.
I try to do that because then I can at least I can see something tangible in my head. Does this movement work? Does the timing work?
Then also you can be like, oh, this is how we need to set up. This is how this camera needs to be set up, like with
and
like
then
lenses and everything.
That's where like the test shots come in. Okay, this is like when I was doing checking out the rain room. Okay, this is what it looks like on a 35. This is 50 on an 18, just to make sure. That's the part that makes me anxious. I think the most is the shoot day, because there's so many variables that can go wrong. And, and then you can plan for as many things, and things will still go wrong.
So much more can go
But
wrong. Murphy's Law.
if you can mitigate it as much as possible and limit it, even better. Which is why
Yeah.
I love pre-production.
Yeah.
'Cause
Let's
I
pretend there's a finite number of things that can go wrong on a certain shoot day. Let's say there's 15 things that can go wrong. At least plan for 10.
Yeah, like for me, like if we will not show up on set if the story is not set, if there's no shot list, if there's no like priority of like what we're trying to shoot first, if there's no preparation at all, like we're not going to do any of that. Like, which is why like storyboarding helps us figure out the timing of how the story is going to be paced out.
And also it helps with, essentially being able to work within the restricted schedule that you have because of COVID, like obviously this was, like especially pre-vaccinations.
Yeah,
like you had to be like, 1 day rehearsal, 1 day of filming, done.
Yeah, like
That's
with
it.
these past 3 shorts that I don't film with Temper Tantrum, like I feel like we only had 1 rehearsal and 1 shoot day. That's it. We had to get it done, and a lot of it was in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like
what was it, like 28 counts in
like for
3 hours?
For Donut Life Museum, that was like about a 7-minute thing, and we only had 4 hours to film everything. So, and then with Body Positivity, since we had more control, it was a 6-hour shoot, but there's still so much. Like storyboarding helps. Test shots help a lot because then
scouting it helps.
Like scouting the location helps, and like if you have a specific spot, like this is just me. Like I have a specific spot, and then I have a friend who's there. I test like the different lenses
stand over there.
Like stand over there, and I'm like literally saying like, all right, I'm saying it out loud. Okay, this is what they look like on a 15, a 35, and then just having those decisions.
You're taking your verbal notes and you're like watching it back, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, then I go back to it, and then on my storyboard, I make a note like we're shooting this in 35, we're shooting this in 55 or 50, but
like using a 50, using this one.
Or you're doing 15 here. Here we're doing a fake drone shot on a monopod.
Back to Bo Burnham very quickly. There was a quick flash of a thing where he was sitting there, cameras right here. Let's pretend this is a fucking measuring tape. He's literally measuring where he is to the camera, because then if he has to like do a reshoot, he knows exactly where to sit, where to put the camera, and how far it has to be.
So he stays in focus and everything. Yeah. So then test shots, and if you have experience, I don't have experience in lighting, but if you have a good DP who understands, lighting and or even better, like the types of lenses, like that definitely helps as well, because I'm not the best at lighting. I understand it, but like my friend and DP Joey, he was definitely a huge help in setting that. But at the end of the day, like I don't think a director has to know everything. You don't have to know the lenses. Like I think that's the DP's job. Like he wants this to happen. He wants a wide. Well, we're gonna switch to this, and then he wants.
It helps that but you don't.
But I think since like I view the director as almost like the CEO in a sense of the whole film. So it just makes sense to understand the process and to understand the craft. That way you're not like underestimating or whatever the
overwhelmed
position. Yeah, or overwhelmed. But it does help to understand the process.
I mean, here's the thing. Like I'm not a director. I never will be and never wanted to be. But like with anything, like winging it is a fun exercise. Like with dancing, freestyling is a fun exercise.
It's good for run and gun.
Yeah. Good for like in filming terms, it's good for like a run and gun. But like if you're really like if you want to break into that industry, start planning.
Yeah, like story, like the
storyboard at least.
The thing with storyboarding is that it allows you to, or even having a shot list. It allows you to have every potential scenario of what you want to shoot.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to shoot day, like at least you have all your bases covered for if you're filming for a client. I don't know if you're doing a product video, you'll have your bases covered. Like, all right, do just a nice slow-mo right here, do a random Dutch angle because that's what fucking works on Instagram.
Like this like spinning thing, like woo.
Yeah, I'm forgetting my terms, but do an extreme close-up here. You have all that covered if you have a shot list.
Yeah.
And then if you get through your shot list, you can, this is what often happens on set is like, oh, that was a better idea than what I had. You can kind of do something else because one, you at least your bases are covered and you won't feel like you're missing something. And at the same time, it gives you that freedom to kind of experiment. Because if this experiment doesn't work, you always have your shot list to fall back on. Yeah.
Like I have where I work, like we don't have like a dedicated like videographer or whatever. I guess that ends up being me. So like, like I don't storyboard for that, but like I at least have a shot list that like I don't share it with anyone. It's just me. Like I have a shot list for me as like my notes. So on the day of the shoot or whatever, I know exactly what I need to take. Like, I need B-roll of this. I need this doing this. I need this person waving from the top of the balcony at me or whatever. Like, and then the rest of it, I can kind of wing, but at least I am in the location I need to be. Or like, at least I have the shot set up the way I need it to be, and they can do whatever the fuck they want. I guess some of it I can fix in post, but like, I'll do as much as I can in pre or during.
Yeah.
Like it's not a habit a lot of people do. Like people have, like, obviously, like they don't have that. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna go in there and film things, and they go in their phone, like whatever. Like at this point, film with your iPhone. Please don't touch the camera. But
don't touch.
Do not touch. But like they'll like film with your phone. It's fine. You have this pretty decent camera on that iPhone, and they'll just go in and I set this, like especially because like my job is currently in the process of expanding the facility. So, we're essentially documenting it and, like putting it out for people. And we're like, yeah, we're excited. And we're, like, I'm like, we're filming this whole thing, and there's like different shoot days because there's only a limited time where we can be there because it's a construction area. Mm-hmm. Like there's only a limited time we can all be there. And we don't want a lot of people gathering at the same time because the optics don't look good with COVID. Yeah. So we're trying to like do all this stuff. And my shoot days, because like I couldn't do every day. I didn't want to do every day, but like my shoot days, like I had set aside 2 hours, 30 minutes, done in 30 minutes. I was able to just go get boba and go home.
Yeah.
Fuck around.
A good plan can save you lots of time and stress.
Because it's just like, oh, hey, I need you over there, do that. And, like, let's say I'm in there and I'm like, oh shit, that would have been a good shot. Wait, you get over here, do the thing over there.
I also know there's some directors that prefer like not coming with a storyboard and you just do a million takes. That stresses, like I get if that works for them, that's cool.
I didn't want to do that.
That stresses me out because like now like going into editing, you're like, how many you have to review like 20 takes of one scene.
Especially if you have to edit it yourself too. Like I had to edit it. I'm like, I already know what I want. Like maybe there was a cute shot there and I'm like, you know what, I can sneak that in. That's fine. But like, I'm not going to take 50 million shots of these people doing the exact same things in all these other locations. I'm like, no, I need you to go into the empty pool and do this little weird swim thing that you were doing earlier. Yeah. And that's it. Like, do you want me to do it somewhere else? No.
Oh God. Yeah. Like I try to limit everything to like 3 takes. Cause I almost feel like if you give people that kind of like that scarcity, like they have to like,
they will perform.
Right. They will perform because now there's like this pressure. Like if I don't think it's good, I'll be like, all right, we'll do one more.
And then one more for safety.
Yeah. Cause I
think we got it. One more for safety.
Yeah. So Q, if you got any questions, feel free to let me know. So the upcoming film that we're releasing for Temper Tantrum, I'll be releasing this one isn't storyboards, but it's previs.
Doing it stresses him out, but he loves talking about it. No, what? You. Like doing the thing stresses you out, but it's a good kind of stressed out.
It is very stressful.
It's a good kind of stressed out though, because then it's rewarding because you're still doing something that you like.
Yeah, because once it's done, it's like, oh.
I mean, that's my job. It's like, I'm like doing all the, I'm like, they're giving me more like creative license and all these things that they want. Like I'm getting frustrated because they suck as managers. They suck as project managers, and flexible deadlines are like killing me. And it's just like, oh, something's due on Friday. JK, it's tomorrow. What?
Oh God.
And then my priorities are all like, but anyway, like, I'll complain about it. At the end of the day, I'm still doing what I like to do. Would I rather be getting paid more? Sure, but I'm still doing what I like doing. Finally.
You just bounce off that. It is stressful planning everything out because it's like, for me, I get into this mode of like, this better be fucking good. But one of the things I've learned from this guy named Tim Ferriss, just like do shit pages, just get it done, because you can always get the feeling of completion, and then change it up. Like, and then I like his perspective of like, when you do your rough drafts, do a draft that you would like, do a draft for your friends and family, like as if in the perspective of that, and do a last draft of someone who hates your shit. They're covering multiple bases. So like, okay, this is what I would like. Cool, I'm satisfied. What about my friends and family? What's their perspective? Oh, they would call this out. Cool. What about the people who are just going to be complete assholes? Oh, they're going to call this out. That way, you try to as foolproof as much as you can with your draft.
Yeah. And critic proof it.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
So a question. Q asked, did you guys self-teach yourselves with film?
I love movies. I love shows. I love things that are put on film. I just know the technical aspects by just researching out. I'm like, I'm not trying to direct anything. That's you.
Have been filming since I was a kid. Ever since I saw my dad bring like one of the huge ass things. And then when I can get when I can finally start using a DV cam, I've been filming since I was in 7th grade. When I was a skater, I would edit on VHS tapes, and then that's where I learned trying like I've said, I feel like I've said the story a lot, but I'll share it again for those of you guys listening to this on YouTube. But two VHS tapes, I would literally, this is me as a kid figuring this out. Like I would connect my PlayStation 1 to one of the VHS players, and one would be the source, one would be for recording. And I would edit it, and I would try to time. Oh my God, how stressful it was to perfectly time a random song from my PlayStation 1.
Just normally an anime intro.
To this VHS play, to our skate video. Oh my God. I think what I would do is like I would edit. Oh my God. I would try to edit the cut from the DV cam directly to my VHS. It was just it was a pain in the ass, but I remember being so obsessed with it as a kid. But at the same time, I was also very obsessed with managing my skate crew, trying to make sure that we were all crew. I was designing stickers and ready to make shirts.
You wanted to be a fucking production company from the get-go. You wanted to be a production house.
Yeah, that's what I was doing as a kid. But then as further along, I was like doing comic books, and then I went to school for animation. So that's where they taught me a lot of the anatomy of film. And part of the animation curriculum is that we also had to learn how to act. So we had to take an acting class. So I got to get the aspect of learning how to be a character for whatever character we were going to animate, and 2, I got to understand like why certain things are still part of the film meta, and why it's also implemented in animated films. Because of all this, like part of the classes where we have to know how to storyboard. One of my exercises, going to like the storyboarding exercises. One of my, I think, quarter midterms or whatever, like one of our things was to get a commercial and storyboard the whole thing. Like you have to redraw the storyboard because he wanted you to understand like why they took these shots and why they did that, or just to get into the process of storyboarding. I didn't learn jack shit from that exercise. I just remember being stressed because I was overly ambitious with this fucking ad.
How did you pick? Do you remember?
But it was a soccer ad.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a Nike soccer ad. But what I took away from that was like how well, like if I can storyboard and plan it, even if the drawing is shit, as long as you can understand the timing, you can understand what the story is being told without having to explain it. It's doing its job. But it was stressful. I hated it.
I think there was one time I was trying to explain a shot that I was talking about. I was like, oh, it would be like, it would be cool if we had a shot like this. And I was explaining it. I'm like, so-and-so would be in the foreground and blah, 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 with the background. And then I'll myself, like, I'll work my lens to like, do all focusing and like panning and everything. They were like, I don't get it. I literally took like a piece of paper and like a pencil. And I was like, drew stick figures. So I'm like, okay, so-and-so is going to be here.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And they're gonna be here. I'm like, am I storyboarding? Is this
kind of, yeah? Like that's essentially why like I like the storyboarding and I like doing treatments because people are visual. Like they're not. If I try to explain to you my idea, like especially if it's high concept, or if there's a lot of details that go into it. Oh, imagine this lighting and this person doing this person. There's only so much a person can remember at that exact moment for the scene you're trying to draw. If you just save their mental energy through a drawing, or through a visual, through a design, they'll
especially when you start doing previs, it's just like, oh, and they like, because obviously with your experience, you can like, you can make those assets actually convey the emotion you're trying to be like, oh, she's gonna be pissed off here.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, one of the reasons I think the pre-production part on that end is important, because like one, like I said, timing, but two, like you can show the visual part, like what Max was saying, like through the emotions. If there's
less takes too.
Yeah, and less takes, because less guesswork. Yeah, to take classes like that. Oh, they're great, but the thing is, I honestly think you can learn everything we're talking about right now on YouTube.
Yeah, especially now.
That's what
2021.
I think you can learn fantastic storyboarding, ways, techniques and whatnot on YouTube.
If you want some guidance, Udemy.
And there's also Udemy, or even Skillshare.
Yeah.
Like there's those ways, because that's honestly how I feel like about half the things I learned. The only difference, I think, the biggest benefit, I think, of being in school, like I said, is the network you have right now. So whoever is in your class, whatever classes you are, and
start collabing.
Collaborate as much as you can. Stay in contact, because when I was working in the animation industry, hell, a lot of my stuff for filming and dance, like, have been majority friends. Like I got my first job outside of my internship from my friend, because they happened to be part of HR there. And
could have gotten a job in New York City.
I could have gotten a job.
But you were referred by a friend.
Yeah, but right? I was referred to both.
The New York job. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. So
you were hired first.
Yeah, I was hired there first. So, that's why I see the benefit of college, is like you have that network. Because I think
I've only seen college as more of a networking thing as opposed to a learning thing.
Yeah, and like
you learn things, but at that point you should be slightly knowledgeable of what you wanted to do. That's why you chose that as a major.
And one thing I'll aside from it is, like, aside from what you're currently learning, in school, like my friends who were studying animation with me, they were doing all this extra shit to get better at it. So it's like the learning outside of the learning, and actually putting it, again, practice, creating the thing to show off the thing. So yeah, this has been
enlightening even for me, and I'm not even trying to be in the film industry.
Watch you.
No,
you're helping me on set.
Absolutely not.
You're helping me on set.
I'm getting you coffee.
You're helping me on. You're helping.
I'm getting you coffee,
No,
or
you
go to the bathroom and I'm the one watching the monitor.
You'll be on set photographer. You'll be on set photographer.
B-Rock, you're fired.
Wait. Yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to keep firing away. Here's the thing too, like when it comes to like creative, like, yeah, I started a new Twitter.
You resurrected it.
Yeah.
Well, not really resurrected it, but
yeah, like here's how. This is one project that I've been wanting to do for the past few years, but you know what I'm talking about, right, Max? The Lady Gaga one.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Like
you need permits on permits on permits.
No,
I think that's
no with that one. I think I can work and make it work. Talking to my old high school coach. But so yeah, I have a Lady Gaga project that I have in mind that I've been thinking about it for the past few years. And
3 years. I think I was just listening to it, and you were like,
yes, you were just listening to it, and it was like the minute I heard it, I was like,
you started picturing it.
There's like a wave of, like, you know that one scene from Thor Ragnarok where he's in the chair. All that, like, that's what it felt like in my mind of everything. These visuals happening. The thing is, like,
and you were sober.
This is honestly would be one of my huge like projects that I'd love to do because it's
It's a huge production. It's like you need
'cause
background. You need
because I know for sure it would probably be a solid 12-hour day. 12-hour day. The thing is, like, we're involving a lot of people,
rentals.
equipment rentals. We're gonna have to, like, we're gonna need the high school
Light
gym.
it.
We need to make the high school gym look like it's a homecoming dance, while simultaneously, so there's gonna be a
Set-
separate crew, set design, and all that
Set
stuff. Like,
design.
so we have to have all the people do that while simultaneously we're filming outside, and just I thought of that just as stressful. And then
I mean, yeah, if you really want to
coordinating-
make good use of the day, like film
Yeah.
inside and outside simultaneously.
no, because like the final scene
Really?
is in the
Oh.
gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the final scene is in the gym, and it's essentially like a prom homecoming ending. But
So you're over there being director, watching the monitors or like the shots
while
outside.
the people the people, because I'm assuming that we're gonna be filming the last scene at night,
Mhm.
where the dance is gonna be at.
Yeah.
And because it just makes sense to just kill three birds in one stone, because establishing shots in there. Act 2 is in there. Well, the 2/3 of Act 2 is in there. Act 3 is in the gym, and then we would just have to do a separate shoot day for the beginning of Act 2, which is essentially like a bedroom scene. But like I said,
So like outside of the high school.
yeah, so that part seems stressful and my friend gave me the phone number to my coach to try to coordinate it last month, and like in my head,
you told him about it.
yeah, and I didn't tell him about it. Just like, hey, can you give me our coach's email? He's like, he sent me her number instead. I'm like, today I'm gonna call her. I didn't call
You're
her.
like literally sitting there like,
Because it's scary. Because like part of it is like I think I'm like I feel positive she'll say yes, but also at the same time, once that says yes, that's a domino of everything that needs to start getting ready.
cast. You gotta get it.
Once that happens, it's like, all right, cool. Like
You
I'm
gotta
in
choreograph.
full on got a choreograph, got a storyboard, got a catch 'em all, got but like set rehearsal dates, shoot dates.
You got more people to work with this time because you need the school's dance team.
So yeah, and then not only that, because since a lot of them are minors, like that means
They can't be working certain times. They can only be working like I don't know, how many hours?
I mean, it's I don't know if it's still the same way as
Permission slips.
like permission slips, but the whole COVID, because not all minors are like, I think it's only 16 and up right now.
12.
Or 12 and up. Okay,
12. 12.
so as long as they're vaccinated, I'll be cool with that. Because my concern, me being a parent, would be like, these kids need to be safe,
Mhm.
and then
So you're gonna do the thing and ask for proof of vaccination.
yeah. So like,
And if their parents are like, we're not going to show you, then your kid's off the production. Sorry.
so it just I know I'm afraid of the no, because it's like what
Exactly.
next? Because now I have to
Yeah.
find different ways to do it. But
Yeah, because that was like the easiest in. Like you have, you know, that's your old school, that's your high school.
Yeah.
Like you know the ins and outs of that school.
yeah, and I love the campus. It's just
Yeah.
it's been I forgot.
Oh my God.
I forgot what school. What
You have a nice campus. We have a nice outside of our campus, but your campus is just
but
nice.
I think I know it's been used in some shows.
They used us for Victorious.
Oh yeah, like, and then also the yes, because that now is easily an avalanche of things that just needs to happen after. And like in my head, I'm like, and I've been telling myself I should just call her tomorrow, because part of the reason I'm procrastinating on this is because
Tomorrow's your day off.
part of the reason I'm procrastinating on this is because I don't have a storyboard, but I think the treatment does the job. But I'm using my perfectionism.
You
as an
being you.
excuse. Yeah, I'm using my perfectionism to be an excuse to not present what is currently there. And I feel like the treatment is enough to share the story. It's just like getting so anxious just thinking about it. I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Do it. I'm gonna bug you tomorrow. Stop texting me.
Ugh.
Beep, boop, 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 boop. I would say the storyboard then midway through.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because I only have up to the previs or storyboard. Like, well, they're different. I only have the previs up until the end of Act 1. Yeah.
You were like kind of working on that like every now and then. You'd be working on something else. And you're like, I'll work on this.
I almost feel like since it's my day off tomorrow, I should just work on my own shit. But I'm also trying to be lazy. Because, yeah.
He doesn't know how to take a day off, guys. He doesn't know how that works.
That's true.
He only knows how it works when I'm around because I force him to be like, now.
My idea of a day off is just like working on something else.
Not working on clients.
Not working on client shit. Yeah, exactly. I would just be just all my own shit.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, no, I'm on vacation.
Should we flip a coin? Do I work on a storyboard or do I call?
Let me get. Oh wait, I don't have a coin. It's not a quarter, but it's a coin. Okay. All right, Chom. So heads. What's heads?
Heads I call. Tails I work on the storyboard.
Tails are on the storyboard. All right. Oh God. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it?
No, I can't see it.
Can you see it? It's heads.
It's heads. Heads I call.
It's heads. It's heads you call.
All right. I'm calling tomorrow. That's how important decisions are made. You toss a coin and let the universe speak. But you know what? I almost feel more confident. I actually feel less anxious now.
Best out of 5. I'm kidding.
Best out, up to game 7.
Oh, speaking of which.
But yeah, it's a
Go Bucks.
Yeah, like the coin toss. I almost feel like is if there is a God, is like this is your opportunity for a yes or no answer right now.
You know how I decided on like on getting the laptop?
How? Coin toss? Hey.
At the end, I just flipped a coin, and then whatever landed on. And the thing is, no, I flipped a coin.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Not like instead.
You got cut off. You're doing this.
Oh yeah, so I was like writing out a pros and cons list, and then or whatever, and then I just literally crossed everything out, put Y and N on each side of the paper because I had the stenography pads.
Yeah.
So it has the line down the middle made already. So I tossed a coin, but not for heads and tails. Wherever the coin lands is where I'm going.
Oh.
Landed on you.
Damn, the universe speaks. Or our vibrational frequencies we're putting out to the universe.
Yeah, but I was listening to twice.
Man.
I was listening to twice, and the song was Yes or Yes.
Okay. Life choices are always made on coin tosses. I almost feel like that simplifies so many things, man.
That's true, though. I mean, what like at the beginning of this, what should we talk about first? And I said, I don't know, throw a dart. My ex and I did that before. We were just like, when we were dating, like we were sitting there, we were just like, you know, we knew we wanted to go out to eat instead of like, you know, eating at his folks' place again, and the food is bland. I wanted to eat something I liked, and I had money. Like that was it was payday, so I had money, and I was like, okay, well, we like, you know, since we both love food, we're just like, what do we want? And it's like, you know, if you ask me, like, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, what do you want? Like literally, it's a legit question. Like, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? So we literally listed things. Like first we listed categories. Like we wanted Chinese, Japanese, like American or whatever. And then we put it on the dartboard in his parents' basement and just threw a couple darts, and whatever like, you know, slice got landed on the most is the first category. And then we took out another piece of paper, wrote down everything from that category, put it back on the dartboard, and just threw at it.
Wow, you went from category to subcategory. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I should probably just watch movies all day tomorrow. Just like, there's so many movies on my list. I just don't have time to like really appreciate it. I was like, you've seen me. Like I partition half my watching.
Yeah, you like
Takes me, like,
watch
2
a
weeks
film, and then you watch a film, then you go back to work, and then you keep watching again. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm spending my whole break watching a film.
It takes me 2 weeks to finish a movie. Because I'm like,
the only thing I watch like piecemeal are like YouTube videos, which is shorter than a movie.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what I've been doing.
I can watch those piecemeal, but I can't watch a movie piecemeal.
Yeah, I have, because
Q knows my life.
Yeah, but I haven't had when was the last time? I think just a couple months ago when I actually planned my days.
Did you
off.
actually sit down and watch Black Widow
like,
in one sitting?
Yeah, like,
shock.
once you were done, I'm like, all right. I mean, like, Was it? Yeah, I got my robe cleaned, the one that you got me. I was just like, and I put on
Your
my
Ninja Brian.
I just put on my headband. I'm like, she's like, you were already asleep. I'm like, this is tight. This
That's my life.
dude. Black Widow was good though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
It did so well in the box office.
I would give it. Maybe an 8 out of 10.
Oh, here's the thing though, with like the MCU movies, like before, like pre-COVID, I would literally go out on Thursday nights by myself and watch them like in theaters. And then obviously with COVID, they were like, oh, we're gonna release Black Widow just in theaters. And then they moved it. Okay, Disney Plus. Now Disney Plus in theaters on this date, like finally. And I like sat there and thought about it because I had a coworker whose kids are also like super into it, and they went that Thursday night to go watch it. They're like, Max, we're gonna do what you did and watch it on Thursday night. And I was like, yeah, but you're going together. You should watch solo.
Okay.
Only true fans. No, I'm kidding. No,
Okay.
I just didn't have time to like coordinate with friends.
Yeah.
Because like before, like our schedules were all super weird. I'm like, can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, no, I'll just fucking go by myself. It's a Marvel movie. It's not like it's a date night movie.
Yeah. Hugh,
It's not strictly a date night movie.
Hugh, I'm just gonna hype it down for you. It's terrible. Don't watch
It's
it.
terrible. 0 out of 10.
Don't
Fucking
watch it. Just hyping it down. Lowering
here's the thing.
expectations.
Here's the thing. Whenever I watch those, I feel like I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I'm sitting there marinating it. I'm like, is it because of the hype? And then I'm sitting there like, I was like, okay, I'm like seeing like, and then I'm like thinking about it again. I'm like seeing flaws in it, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it probably wasn't as good as I thought it was in theaters. As it got carried on with the hype, and then there's people around me that are just as excited. Blah,
Just
blah,
that group experience, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch Black Widow at home. Like I dropped the $30. I'm gonna watch it multiple times because I don't give a fuck. It's already on my list of comfort movies. So the entire like MCU library is part of my comfort movies, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep watching it anyway. I think it's worth the $30, and I get to enjoy it from the comfort of my own bed.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm like sitting there, I was like, oh, but it's okay. And there was nobody around me to be like, yeah.
Just from my perspective, I loved that she got her own story.
Because I was begging for one
because Q hasn't watched it, so I'm trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible.
Yeah, I'm not saying shit.
The casting was good. I liked the picks.
Dave Harbour.
What?
Dave Harbour.
Oh, Hopper.
Hopper.
Yeah, it was great.
No, it was terrible.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Don't watch
Horrible.
it. If you guys are watching
Anti-hype
Club
squad.
If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast on Spotify, it's terrible.
Yeah. Marvel has amazing casting with most characters. Well, they can also afford them.
They have a great reputation. I mean, they definitely, with their first casting with
RDJ.
Even Blade, when it was them.
Oh shit!
And they were almost brand. Blade saved them, and then RDJ, and then they've knocked it out of the park.
They put their money on Iron Man, and like most fans of the comics know that Iron Man wasn't a big Marvel character before. It was just like, oh, it's Iron Man.
Yeah, they
whatever.
I mean, because they sold off practically all their A players: Spider-Man to Sony,
Spider-Man to
X-Men
Sony.
to Fox,
Fantastic Four to whoever. Sony.
Yeah, was it Sony as well?
Sony, yeah.
Okay, and then it was part of Fox because otherwise.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Because and then they just had to make their B-list players into something amazing, and that I think that shows a great example of as long as your stories are good,
as long as you have actors that can execute the story well.
But I don't even think it's like
it doesn't rely heavily on the actors too.
No, because for example, Robert Pattinson and fantastic actor, shit story
in Twilight.
Yeah,
shit movie.
So as long as because the backbone, as long as the story is good, because I think one of the things I loved Kevin Feige's philosophy with all this is it's not a superhero film with a story. it's a regular grounded film or sci-fi film, whatever it
But it
is.
just so happens to involve
have
superheroes.
that it happens to involve that.
Oh yeah, with Robert Pattinson. If anybody ever wanted to question Robert Pattinson's acting abilities, like as though he's Batman now, there's a movie. I keep forgetting what it is. I keep forgetting what it's called. But there's a movie. It's like a art house movie with starring Robert Pattinson involving a freaking lighthouse.
Oh my God, that film!
I love that film.
I haven't seen it yet.
So much.
I definitely want to watch that.
My friends and I watched it, and we were all uncomfortable. Not because what we were seeing, but like his acting made us uncomfortable, and it was supposed to. It was so fucking good. I was just like,
the lighthouse, right?
The lighthouse. I mean, it was called the lighthouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like involving a lighthouse. The lighthouse. Yeah. Like, listen, if you want to watch like a good like art house film, cue The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and.
Yeah, that showed how good
Robert
of it. What there's another one.
You haven't seen that yet.
Where he's like involved with some sort of drug dealer or something like that.
Yeah. I think that was his first edgy movie after Twilight.
He was trying to like.
I know he did Water with Elephants,
himself.
but that was like with like Reese Witherspoon or whatever. Water for Elephants or something, like something about a circus. I didn't watch it mostly because it like involved Robert Pattinson, and I'm like, I have something in my eye.
Good time.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah, I saw like bits of that. I was like, holy shit, he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
So yeah, good time. I think that's also on Netflix also.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, because I think I added it on my list. I'm definitely gonna watch that tomorrow.
Okay, I'll watch it in the background. No, it's not a background movie, for sure.
Yeah, because there's so much. One thing I really want to watch is, what is it? The one with Orson Welles, I think. Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Oh.
We never watched the whole thing for my
class?
anatomy of film class. We watched bits and pieces, like the whole like because.
Oh, they were just like key points of it.
Yeah, because he was they're trying to tell us about camera movement, blocking, and all that stuff, and then they were showing like the amazing uses of it. So, and I think Citizen Kane was also a one take, the whole thing. So definitely want to watch that, and Metropolis, which is also one of the first like sci-fi films, and you see so much inspiration of that. Like I see it even in the newer episodes of Loki.
A Space Odyssey was my favorite. It's my second favorite movie. Third favorite movie.
I haven't watched that one yet.
My first one being A Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch that.
Second one being Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Actually,
that was good.
That one.
Perspective.
I sent you that video with the forced perspective. Like with they didn't do much in post. They literally just did forced perspective, like with the Museum of Illusions bullshit.
Oh yeah, that was.
I was like,
smart.
Oh shit.
Super smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Loki series is.
It's terrible.
No, actually, it's terrible. Don't watch it. It has.
It's horrible.
It does not set anything up for. Yeah, the last episode goes. Oh yeah, we can watch that tomorrow.
Oh okay.
Are you gonna stay up, or are you gonna watch it together after this?
We can watch it on my break tomorrow.
I'm done.
On my lunch break.
I'm done.
Because I have a long lunch break.
It's at 9, right?
My time? 9 your time, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I actually.
Around it. Or you can't.
No. I actually just remembered that I accepted a business call tomorrow morning because they were supposed to call earlier today.
At what time?
At
9.
11 a.m. Eastern time, so 8 a.m. for me.
All right. Good morning.
So, and I also have a dental appointment at 11, but we should be fine, anyways.
You have an appointment at 11, but also a call at 11.
11 a.m. Pacific time is my dental appointment. 11 a.m. Eastern time is my business call.
And then you wanted to watch a 1 hour-ish episode of Loki with me.
Yeah, it's only what your lunch is around 12-ish.
Yeah.
And then assuming this business call is only like a 45-minute call, which has been the average, should be fine. So that is it, everyone. I appreciate you guys watching. Hugh on Twitch, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the questions you threw at us, and I hope the things we shared was super helpful in your journey in becoming a filmmaker. And those of you guys listening and watching on Spotify or on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts and whatnot. If you guys like this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you guys like it. And if I almost feel like I should leave like a survey thing, like if a Q&A thing, a dedicated Q&A thing, hosted by Q, inspired by the great Q. We should start a Q&A. But okay, but
we might lose an audience member.
I know. With that, I appreciate you guys for watching, and if anything, have an amazing night, day, evening, week, month, rest of the year, decade, and life. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Awkward Tea Party. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Beep, boop, 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 beep.
That's signature right there.